Okay, welcome everyone. It is my pleasure today to introduce Dr. Shah Kawthar Mustafa Abululayee. Doctor is a professor and chairman at the Department of Philosophy at the University of Dhaka in Bangladesh. We are fortunate today that we are going to have a presentation from him on the uniqueness of Sufis' inspirations from the Prophet with special reference to Ibnul Arabi. Dr. Kawthar, it'll be our pleasure if you can tell us a few words about yourself as well, so people can know you a little bit more before you start. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I'm teaching at the University of Dhaka for more than 30 years. Before joining the University of Dhaka, I worked as a lecturer at the University of Chittagong for some time, Bangladesh, and I did my PhD from Aligarh Muslim University, India, on Sufism, symbolism of light in Sufism. I held some positions at the University of Dhaka. I was the director of Center for Moral Development, University of Dhaka, and another research center, that is Dev Center for Philosophical Studies. I work as the director of that center, and at present I am the president of Bangladesh Philosophical Society, that is the philosophical organization. These are brief. I belong to a Sufi tradition, practicing Sufi. My father established a Khanka Sufi monastery at Kishorganj, Bangladesh, and now I am in charge of that Khanka Abululayee at Kishorganj Sufi Center. So these are the things. So with these few words, I am Bismillah Rahman Rahim. I am thankful. Assalamu alaikum and good Ibn Arabi Society Asia Pacific, a chapter of Mohidin Ibn Arabi Society UK, has given me a chance, a few words uh, on this topic. Today I have chosen the topic uniqueness of Sufi inspiration from the Prophet with special reference to Ibnul Arabi. That would be a scattered talk actually. Could not prepare this talk to that level as it was desired. Anyway, I shall try to present it in my own way. Thank you again, dear uh, brothers and sisters. Um, uh, the word uh, we have, our topic is inspiration, Sufi's inspiration from the Prophet. The word inspiration, Arabic kashf or ilham, is a common phenomenon in Sufism. Sufis earnestly desire to reach the level of kashf, that is, knowing the truth, which is not possible through rational or empirical process. For reaching to the level of inspiration, Sufism, Sufis have to purify the soul from all kinds of impurities, mainly inner impurities that block human soul from divine knowledge, that is esoteric knowledge or divine secrets. Human soul, according to the Quran, is a divine command. God says, Yes, aluna kani ruh, kuli ruh min amri rabbi. Addressing the Prophet, the people will ask you about true spirit. Tell that it is the command of my Lord. In another uh, Quranic verse, Nafaktu fihi min ruhi. I have poured my spirit in him. These are so human soul. So God poured His spirit in human soul, and human being is divine trustee amana. That has also been in the Quran. Therefore, human being is the vicegerent of God on earth, Khalifatullah fil earth. Purification of soul through spiritual practices and refraining oneself from the prohibited things can prepare or make capable a human being to become a recipient of inspiration, spiritual inspiration. Inspiration thus has a central place in Sufi epistemology. In Sufi theory of knowledge, inspiration is a very important thing. Sufi central thing. The Sufi knowledge is through grasp or inspiration or intuition. We use this word. Inspiration may descend to the Sufis in different ways, both in awakening state or in a dream in different forms. Okay, may come in different forms. You find in this thing in other traditions also, and other mystical traditions. It is clear to all that the days of the prophets now where the uniqueness, our topic is uniqueness from the inspiration from the prophet. It is well known that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, is is a central place. His place is central in a Muslim's life. It is inseparable. Every step of a Muslim is supposed to follow the footstep of the Prophet. For this, there are many Quranic verses and prophetic traditions that we have to follow, strictly follow the footstep of the Prophet, has to be followed strictly. Obedience is the obedience of God. There are many verses and traditions. This is known to all. So there is no disagreement among the Muslim on this point. There is no scope of anything. Everyone has to follow the footstep of the Prophet. There is no scope, any scope of defying this thing. That is the essential, the Sunnah of the Prophet is essential. But Sufi's approach is a bit different, a bit different. We may say it is a bit advanced. Sufis accept all the traditional views of Islamic teaching on following of the Prophet, but their views is in the following Prophet is more advanced. They believe that a person cannot become a Sufi or an adept of Sufism without a deep love for the Prophet. Here, deep love. Others also love, but Sufi's love is different. Here is a deep love, deep connection, deep connectivity with the Prophet. That is inner, from inside. That is, they earnestly desire to keep in touch with the Prophet spiritually and believe that this is the only way to attain nearness to God. For become near to God, inner nearness from inside, the Prophet's love and attachment with the Prophet is necessary. That is, the Sufis said. The state of feeling of the presence of God in every moment, because human being is the vicegerent of Allah. So ultimate desire is to get attached with God. The 24 hours we are the vicegerent of God on earth. So that has to be, and he is with us. God has said, Wa makum aina makum. He is with you wherever you are. So this is the thing, the ultimate objective of a Sufi is to reach that state, the, the consciousness, the awareness of his presence every moment. He is with us. God is with us. But to reach that state, a, a, a person has to go through a certain process, and deep love, deep connection with the Prophet is the very core thing, fundamental thing for reaching to that level, to that state. That is the all the Sufis agree on this. Sufis believe that the Prophet has physically disappeared from the world, but his spiritual presence is always with his dedicated and spiritually advanced followers. That is the traditional view. The Prophet died, so uh, there are many views are there. Some views, Salafi or Ahle Hadith, they don't accept these things, spiritual things, the Prophet's presence. But Sufis firmly believe, earnestly believe the spiritual presence. Those who are the followers of Islam, the followers of those who love Prophet, he can uh, address the uh, person spiritually. Prophet can address, he can be attached with him. This is the feeling of all the Sufis. This is very much in the Sufism. So the spiritual presence is always with the dedicated and spiritually advanced followers. The Prophet's presence, they feel the realize the presence of the Prophet. They realize the presence of God also. Same. They remain very eager for the vision of the Prophet, either in dream or in an awakening state. The vision of the Prophet, seeing the Prophet, his vision, either in dream or in awakening state, is a earnest desire of the Sufis. That is the thing. Many thousands of poems or poetries are there that the veil or one saint from uh, Bangladesh, he has written in our Sufi order, our elder Shah Siddiq, the Rukhsar se burqa ka zara parda utha do. The veil of that veil, please remove the veil so that I can see your face, your countenance, your beautiful face. So these things are very much earnest desire, Jami, many others throughout the world. That is the ultimate desire to see the Prophet. So that is the very beloved, the beloved, so to see the beloved. Prophet is the beloved, so to see him, that is the earnest desire, ultimate desire, desire of the heart. So that is that is very much reflected in Sufi literature, particularly in Sufi poetry, in the writings of, you will find in the Jami Abdul Rahman Jami, the Persian poet, in his writing you find many such things, and in everywhere, Urdu, in Bangla, everywhere, in Nazrul's, in our country, Nazrul Islam sons, you will find this. uh, uh, so very spiritually continually receive such visions, and Sufis such there are many incidents that Sufis have been uh, continually blessed with vision of the Prophet in dream or in awakened state. So that is, this way they got inspiration. In previous, it is believed that the Sufis, practicing dedicated Sufis, are getting inspiration from the Prophet. This is they get in vision, in any way, in dream or something. So in today's talk, our we'll cite some such instances from the lives of some leading Sufis, and after that we shall conclude our discussion citing the case of Ibnul Arabi, the Sheikh al-Akbar, the great doctor, our concernist. But today we shall point out some cite some example, others example of the Sufis, leading Sufis, those who are had the vision. Many have the vision, but we shall cite some uh, Sufi example of some Sufis or leading uh, the how they uh, have had the vision of the Prophet. How did they saw the Prophet in dream, or and their lives, the life changed because of that vision, then inspiration, their whole lifestyle changed in many ways because of this thing. So even we can cite even the first of all, I'd like to cite the instance of Imam Hussain. From tomorrow the month of Muharram will start, and on 10th Muharram Imam Hussain was by the Yazidi force, Prophet's beloved grandson. So Imam Hussein's dream, I'd like to start with Imam Hussain. You know that Imam Hussain was martyred in 680 AD, 61 AH, and at Karbala. present Iraq. So before that, uh, uh, his food and water supply was stopped. His family members all were without water and food for 3 days. Uh, that they were so-called Muslim Yazidi forces. Imam Hussein did not accept Yazid as Amirul Mu'minin, commander of the faithful, because unscrupulous Yazid, how could he claim the this position of Amirul Mu'minin, the commander of the faithful, because this is the position of the prophet's successor, the spiritual something. So he could not accept Yazid as the uh, successor of the prophet in prophet's chair. Actually, that is the Amirul Mu'minin. The title was at that time Amirul Mu'minin. So that was the his martyrdom. So before that, on ninth Muharram night, pre- previous night, that is 10th Muharram, 9th Muharram night, previous night, Imam Hussein had a dream. That is very important for me. That's why I'm pointing out this thing. They had a dream. The Prophet appeared to him in dream, and he complained to his grandfather that your oppressor, your so-called followers, the oppressors are ready to kill me. They stopped water supply. They are not supplying water to my children even. Their women were there, and Furat, their Euphrates river. But in such a situation, the Prophet consoled him very in a very sweet language. Ya Qurratul Aini. He said, "O delight of my eye, cool of my eye, O delight of my eye," addressing Imam Hussein in this way. This oppressor will kill you. It was predicted much before when Imam Hussein was very young. Prophet declared that he will have to face martyrdom. So again in dream he is saying this thing. The oppressors will kill you, but in the heaven a very high position has been kept reserved for you. Very high position. You won't be able to reach that place until the sword of the oppressor does not touch your head. The oppressor's sword, without this you cannot reach to that station. This way Prophet counseled him, and it is declared, it is known every tradition, in all traditions, that Hassan and Hussein Sayyidu Shabab Ahl Jannah. The Hassan and Hussein are the leader of years in Jannah, in the garden. So that is the position. So the Prophet is in inspiration, in dream, is instructing his grandson, Imam Hussein, to remain steadfast, to uh, to be firm. And so definitely that inspired him to fight a what can be said, a, a real uh, fight for truth, to uphold truth. Uh, so it is believed that the dream of the words of the prophets were the strength. So what the prophet said in dream, that were the strength that kept Imam Hussein steadfast until his martyrdom. He remained firm. His children, brothers, relatives, and associates were martyred before him, and he kept patience, strongly upheld the principle of Islam, sacrificed his own life and lives of near and dear ones, but didn't accept the tyrant Aziz as the Khalif of Islam, as the Amir. He didn't accept this thing. That's why there is a tradition in the Sufi tradition, Sufis in a kalam, Qawali, or Sama, there is a tradition, there is a kalam. The Hussein ibn Ali, Jane Auliya. The Hussein ibn Ali is the life of the saints, life force of the saint, the strength of the saint. The Hussein sacrificed himself for the beloved, for the cause of the beloved. This way, he sacrificed himself. He sacrificed his son, brothers, relatives, near and dear ones. And there another kalam, the Fakhri Ambiya. He is the pride of the prophets, because according to Islam, the prophethood came to an end with Islam, with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that to retain the spirit of true teaching of Islam, Imam Hussein sacrificed himself. So this inspiration has a role or relevance in this case. That is that I am citing here. So we see this thing, and there are many other instances. Imam Malik is a very famous traditionist, Muhaddis. Imam Malik, one of the four Imams of Ahl Sunnat wal Jamaat, Sunni Jamaat, uh, uh, he was instructed by the Prophet to distribute the order of sweetness, that is knowledge. He was instructed by the Prophet to spiritually to distribute knowledge, and accordingly he did this thing. And it is said that when he used to teach uh, hadith, he used to, before that he would take bath for sanctity, for the honor of the Prophet, that he is teaching the Prophet's words. That's why you should take bath. That was the respect. And many we find that uh, Sufyan Saudi, another great saint, Prophet instructed another Sufi, Isa bin Ibrahim Asbahani. It is reported in Hilyatul Awliya, famous book on history of Sufism, very famous, monumental work, that Prophet instructed people to attend the assembly of Sufyan Saudi, a great saint of the early period. As such thing we find the Taus and others that Prophet once Taus ibn Kisan, he died in 723 AD, 105 age. That it is reported that one of his associates seen him offering prayer in Kaaba. He was offering prayer in Kaaba. The holy prophet appeared to him, Taus, and asked, "Open your veil and recite manifestly." Open your veil, and that means spiritually you appear before the people address. This is the instruction. Then the saint instructed his associate who witnessed that incident not to disclose it to anybody, because many Sufis were very much they didn't want that there such incidents or there such things should be disclosed to people, common people. That is, they fear Riya. There is a word Riya, uh, religious term. Riya means showing attitude. Any way people see something, the showing attitude is detrimental in spiritual progress. So Riya is strictly prohibited in religion, and in Sufism, the Sufis are very strict about famous Sufi Abu Hashim Kufi. It is said that the first Sufi word was applied on Abu Hashim. So Sufi and Saudi in one place said that had I not met uh, Abul Hashim Kufi, I would not have learned the subtlety of Riya, the showing attitude, because human being has a tendency to show something. The people should know me, my station, my dignity, my status. That is the attitude of commonly people, and politicians, particularly, they are victim of this thing, and many other people, usually scholars, ulamas, religious intellectuals, lecture. We all desire that we must be recognized. People must know us, and must know my ability, my status. That is the desire. That is Riya actually, for in the real sense that tendency. So Sufis avoided this thing always. So Sufyan Saudi also instructed his disciple not to disclose this thing to others. And these are the things, and we find this thing in Sufi literature. Now I'd like to mention Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani, the famous saint. And his, everybody know Qadiriya order, the famous saint. Uh, in our country, in subcontinent, he is known as Boro Pir Sahib. So he's known as the great grand Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani. And it is a famous saying that he said, the Kadami ala rakabi ala kulli oli Allah. That my foot is on the shoulder of every saint of his time. This is a famous saying. And it is said that when he uttered this thing, he was actually instructed, spiritually inspired by the Prophet. Actually, that was think that the prophet, actually prophet's food at this time. This is somehow explained in this way. And another instance I'd like to mention here, that uh, once the prophet uh, uh, instructed him to speak to the audience, public lecture, deliver public lecture at Baghdad. And originally, he's Sayyid descendant of Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain, both from both line. He is the descendant, both Hassani and Hussaini. He belonged to the tradition, but he was born and brought up in Iran, Gilan. So naturally, his language became Persian. So when the Prophet instructed, he was in Baghdad when Prophet instructed him spiritually that you deliver public lecture for the guidance of mankind. Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani very modestly replied, I am from Ajam, I am non-Arab. I feel embarrassed to speak before the Arabic speaking people, as I feel embarrassed to speak amongst you because my language is Bangla. My I have linguistic limitations definitely. So in public, I feel embarrassed. Then the Holy Prophet uh, asked him to open his mouth. Prophet asked him to open your mouth, and uh, Sheikh Jilani opened accordingly his mouth. The Prophet spat into his mouth. Then Prophet spat on his mouth. This is the recorded thing. That is very honor to us. It maybe that what is this thing, but for the adept of spirituality, is a great honor for them. It's a great privilege or honor or dignity, something. So he did it accordingly. After this incident, Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani became an eloquent speaker in Arabic language, and in his assembly, more than 70,000 people used to gather and receive religious guidance. So he became so, and the topmost religious scholars of that time were regular attendants of those assemblies. This is believed to be the result of the special spiritual blessings of the Prophet, the beloved of Allah. So this is also considered the special blessings he received from the Prophet through this inspiration in him. Now another this is a way, another Khaza Muinuddin Chishti Ajmeri, that he is known as the Sultanul Hind. He died in, he came to India in 12th century, later part of 12th century, and died in 1236. The famous, he is known as Khaza Garib Nawaz, benefactor of the poor, Sultanul Hind, emperor or spiritual emperor of India, of the subcontinent, and Hindal Wali, saint of India. And uh, he came to India for preaching Islam. It is widely known, widely accepted. Everybody, all the Sufi circles, it is accepted that the Muinuddin Chishti came to India on the direct instruction of the Prophet. Prophet instructed him directly to go to India and preach Islam. And he succeeded. It is reported, that maybe exaggeration, that more than 9 million people were converted to Islam under his hand, because of him, that brought a revolution. After his arrival, Muslim rule established in India for 700 years it lasted. So it is said that this is because of he came as the deputy of the Prophet, Naib and Nabi. He came as the deputy of the Prophet. That's why he is revered and respected by all the Sufis, all other people, even non-Muslims. They gather in his shrine. Mm, Millions of people worship annually throughout the people remain there in thousands and millions of people. And he uh, he had a great role in conversion. That is the thing, that Islam was preached through love, through the teachings and of the Sufis. So the Sufis, Islam was preached in the subcontinent by the Sufis, because with the philosophy of love. And Muhyiddin Chishti, uh, 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 as him, the great saint Sultanul Hind, he succeeded. It is believed that because he came under the instruction of the uh, Prophet, so here he is inspired by the Prophet. He got inspiration from the Prophet, and that was his strength. Here, he faced many odds here, Prithviraj and others, but he succeeded in his mission because his prophet's blessings was with him, and that is ultimately the blessings of God. So another, uh, I'd like to, you all know the Sadi. Everybody knows Sheikh Sadi. The famous, here's the information. His famous Gulista prose form is one of the best literary prose work in the world. It is recognized as the Gulista of Sadi is the best literary work. And Busta, another in poet in the form of Gulista and Busta, so famous throughout the world, Sheikh Sadi. So he has a dream that is very important. He was a practicing Sufi also. Sheikh Sadi was a practicing Sufi. He was the disciple of famous saint Sheikh Shihabuddin Sohrawardi. Shihabuddin Sohrawardi's book Awariful Marif is a famous book on Sufism, very in Arabic. Sheikh Shihabuddin Sohrawardi warder, Sufi warder. So Sheikh Sadi at one night started composing a naat, a poem, couplet in praise of the Prophet. Uh, Sitting on the prayer mat, he composed the following lines, three lines he composed. Balagal ulabi kamalihi. Balagal ulabi kamalihi, he has, the Prophet, about the Prophet, reached the level of perfection, highest level of perfection. Kashafa duja bi jamalihi. All darknesses disappear through his sublime beauty. Kashafa duja bi jamalihi. Hasunat Jamio Khisali, all nobleness has been reflected in his character. So these lines he composed, then the last line he could not compose, he was not finding suitable words. So after composing the above three lines, Sadi was not finding words to complete his last line. He fell into sleep. He fell asleep on the prayer mat. The Prophet appeared to him in dream and said, Sadi, don't you able to complete your couplet? Then write. The Prophet said this thing. The last line is that of the Prophet. That Sallu alayhi wa alihi. Write Sallu alayhi wa alihi. Blessings and peace be upon him and his family. That is the last line is that of the Prophet. That's why you know this throughout the world, this kalam, Balagalullah bi kamalihi, kashafat duja bi jamalihi, hasunat jamiu khisalihi, sallu alayhi wa alihi. It is so well known throughout the world because here the last line is that of the Prophet and Sadi got it through inspiration from the Prophet. This inspired kalam. This is the thing. Sadi, so this way we'll find many. Have I time? How many minutes left? 10 minutes?
Sorry,
10?
doctor,
10?
I just was looking for the unmute. Yes, it's okay. You continue. I think what you're saying is so enjoyable. We're going to give you all the time you need. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Then another very famous Egyptian Sufi, Abul Hasan Shazili. Shazili, a warder. You might be knowing this Abul Hasan Shazili, the famous Egyptian Sufi, great Sufi. Shazili warder. He was a Hassani Sayyid. After his name, the warder Shazili warder is there. So he had many instances, many occasions I can put, but I am just citing one of his example only. It is reported that once he spiritually instructed to perform pilgrimage Hajj, he was instructed. He embarked on a ship with some of his disciples. In the meantime, the year was not in a favorable direction. It was coming from opposite year because ship that at that time year from Egypt he was going. Passing from the opposite direction, because of which the ship could not move towards the direction of Makkah. Everyone became nervous as little time left for Hajj. Some people started ridiculing the saint that you claim that you have been instructed to perform Hajj spiritually from the unseen world, Ghaib. Now it is there is a remote chance of reaching Makkah before Hajj because this thing. So people started ridiculing him. Those who are with him, many people that you claim this way. The saint, the Abul Hasan Shazli, assured the people that keep patience. At that time in dream, the holy prophet appeared to him and instructed to recite the certain dua that is called Hijbul Bahar. It is in my practice also throughout the world. This dua is there, Hijbul Bahar, and uh, asked him to his recite him, taught him word by word. The Prophet taught him this dua word by word, and after he wake up from sleep, started reciting dua and his disciple also. Then within a short time the year changed and it was uh, a direction in favorable direction and they reached ship was moving very swiftly and they reached Makkah a considerable time before Hajj. That is Hijbul Bahar, and this Hijbul Bahar wazifa, this is dua is practiced in many Sufi orders. We have also in practice. We practice this dua. It is believed that it is very useful dua, which Prophet spiritually uh, has inspired him. This dua through inspiration, Abul Hasan Shazili got this uh, uh, kalam. He received this kalam, this dua through the Prophet, through inspiration from the Prophet. The Prophet taught him this dua. And it is practiced in all the Sufi orders, leading Sufis, all the Sufis, subsequent Sufis are practicing this dua in Amal. You will find in Google and every search, you will get this thing. Uh, and then uh, we know about Amir Khusru, the disciple of Nizamuddin Auliya, the famous Amir Khusru. Here once it is that the Amir Khusru used to compose Naat in praise of the Prophet, and used to show it to his Murshid, his spiritual guide Nizamuddin Auliya, the great saint. Then Nizamuddin Auliya used to reply that yes, it's good, but not up to the level of Sadi. Sadi is Balakalullah Bikamali. Then, so he was trying again and again. Then Nizamuddin, one day he said, why are you saying this thing that not like Sadi, not level of Sadi? Then Nizamuddin earlier instructed him, they come today after Isha prayer. Then they had a spiritual journey, and they reached to the Prophet's place. All saints, all are there, sitting there. It is an experience Sadi has written. So then he has seen that Khusru has written that Prophet is asking the Sadi, recite it again, Balaghalullah bi kamalihi, kashafad duja bi jamalihi. It is, and that's why uh, after that he wrote a kalam, Amir Khusru, Nami Danam che manzil bud shabjaye ke man budam. His famous kalam. I don't know the last night where I was, Muhammad Mire Majlis Bud. Muhammad was the chief of this assembly. Khuda Khud Mire Majlis. Allah was the God is the chief of the assembly, and Muhammad was the light. Shammai Mahfil Bud. That is the famous kalam of Amir Khusru. His vision. It is uh, recited in Kawali Mahfil and everywhere. That is also there in Google. You will find this thing. So these are the inspiration, result of inspiration in many ways, prophetic inspiration. Then I'd like to mention the name of Sheikh uh, Maneri, who is a famous saint, Sheikh Sharfuddin Ehia Maneri. He's very famous, and he has a connection with Australia because Father Paul Jackson. Have you gone through his book? I don't know. You might have gone through his book. Paul Jackson, SJ, Australian. He translated his book, 100 Maktubat Sadi, 100 Letters of Sharfuddin Maneri, and another book, In Quest of God, here 150 letters. So he has translated and he did his PhD. Jackson has did his PhD on Maneri from Patna University. He was for quite a long time in India, Bihar. So I had the chance to visit Maneri's place once in 2011. I went there to attend a seminar on Maneri. So Jackson's uh, niece was there. She represented her uncle. Then she was telling that Father Paul II, Pope II, John Paul II, that among his selected readings, the Sharfuddin Maneri's 100 letters of Sharfuddin Maneri is there among his selected readings, John Paul II selected readings. So Maneri, the great saint, great Sufi, and he had a connection with Bangladesh also. He was he uh, he was educated in Bengal for some time during this period. But he was a very from a very leading Sufi family. His grandfather was a great saint. His father was a saint. But he has some sort of, what can we say? He has a pride that I belong to this tradition. And he visited the place of Nizamuddin was alive at that time, Delhi. But he in contentment, he was not satisfied. Then he, in Delhi, another saint, he visited his place, Najibuddin Ferdowsi. But when he reached there, he felt embarrassed he was shivering, and the Najibuddin Ferdowsi then initiated him to Sufi order, uh, Maneri, Sheikh Maneri, and immediately he handed over the Khilafatnama, the power of discipleship, that he has been authorized to take bayat, guide, as a spiritual guide. The authority letter he was handing over to him, that you have been authorized, initiated, take bayat, and immediately after this thing he was given the Khilafat. You have been um, authorized to take discipleship. You can guide people. You have been instructed. Then Sheikh Maniri said, how is it possible? I have learned nothing from Sufism. You have not given me this thing. I just have the initiation. How could I guide people? Spiritual guide, advancement. This is not intellectual, not something. Then the Sheikh said, Najibuddin said, that I have written this Khilafatnama, this authority letter 12 years before, under the instruction of the Prophet. Prophet instructed me to write the authority letter, to hand over this thing to you. And rest of your education improvement will be directly from the Prophet. And you know that he became so famous. He is known, Sharfuddin Maniri is known as the Sultanul Muhakkikin, the researcher. 1700 letters he has written, and his letters are, what can be said, very, very important piece of Sufi literature, very crucial, significant pieces of Sufi literature, very important. So this is the thing, this way this prophetic inspiration continue. Then after this I am just coming to the last, before Ibn Arabi's Shah Abululayee, to this order I belong. He was he died in 1650 AD. He was the deputy governor of Bengal during Akbar's time, and at that time Man Singh was the governor there. So he was spiritually instructed by the Prophet in dream. The Abululayee leave this position and go to preach Islam, preach Sufism, lead a life of a Sufi. And accordingly, Shahbullah left everything, left the deputy governorship, the position, and started preaching. Was initiated by in the Naqshbandiya order, and he was blessed. He visited the shrine of Moinuddin Chishti, and Moinuddin Chishti spiritually appeared before him, and he has given all these uh, blessings to him, and saying that the what was kept reserved for you, Hazrat Ali instructed me, the Prophet instructed to hand over all these things. And this is Sama. Shahbulullah took the permission of Sama, because in Naqshbandiya order, Sama is not allowed. Music, spiritual music. Shahbulullah in Abululayee order, Sama is there. So Moinuddin Chishti spiritually uh, given him permission to listen Sama. The Sama, so in Abululayee order, Sama is very much there. So these are the few instances of this inspiration, Sufi inspiration from the Prophet. Now, I'd like to conclude my uh, lecture citing an example of Sheikhul Akbar, the great Sheikh. You know his philosophy. You belong to this society. As Sheikh Al Akbar Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi is a great saint, great philosopher and theosopher, and philosophy and tasawwuf, Sufism, mysticism has been combined here. And about him, many people misunderstood him, many have criticized him, but those who know him, they are so devoted to him, so uh, they respect him so much, that is unparalleled scholar. But about him, just before going to him, about him, Ayatollah Khomeini, the founder of Islamic Republic of Iran, he was the very fan of Ibnul Arabi. What it's very, very. So in his letter, the letter he wrote to Gorbachev, in one letter, he has written that you send your best students to come and they learn Arabic and study Ibnul Arabi. Because Wahidatul Wujud's philosophy, he liked it very much. Khomeini was very much influenced by Ibnul Arabi's philosophy, Islamic worldview, and, and Futuhat. In his writing, it is very clearly there. The Futuhat and Fusus, these are very important, monumental work of Ibnul Arabi. There are many works. So Ibn Arabi had many visions. Many times he had the visions of the Prophet. So the one, and I'm not going to his theory discussion. There are many huge thing. Today, I am just in should be in today's topic. So Ibn Arabi, he himself, what he says, I am just quoting it from his Fusus al-Hikam, Basil of Wisdom. Following on this, indeed, I saw the envoy, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in a dream of announcement of good news, Mubashira, in the last decade of the month of Muharram, in the year 6027 Hijrah, in the city of Damascus. And in his hand, when the Prophet's hand, there was a book, and he said to me, the Prophet said to him, "This is the book of Fusus al-Hikam. This is the book of Fusus. Take it and bring it out to the people who will benefit by it." So Fusus al-Hikam, Ibn Arabi says this book is given by the Prophet. I am having this translation of this book. That is, he has claimed that thing, that the Fusus al-Hikam is directly given by the Prophet to publish it. So he's claiming that word by word he has written this thing, and I said, heard and obeyed God, O high and boy, and the people of Warder from among us, as I was Warder. And accordingly, he did this thing. He claimed this thing in his book. Uh, uh, I verified the desire and purified the intention, abstracted the purpose and the himma to expose this book as it was limited to me by the envoy without increase or decrease. Also, no increase or decrease, as it is, I have published it. So that is the very monumental. It is like revelation. We cannot say revelation because revelation is wahi is confined, but it is this thing inspiration. Such an inspiration. Ibn Arabi has the whole book is claiming Fususul Hikam is from the Prophet. So this is the example. In such cases, he was inspired, and Futuhat Makkiyah, that is also written through inspiration, and his writing is so forceful, so acceptable, and definitely it is very certain, very difficult to understand. Very few people understand this thing. Without advanced people in the way of Sufism cannot understand the philosophy of Ibnul Arabi. People often confuse, and many people criticize him, even. But the Shawliullah, the Shawliullah, he has written Faisalai, Wahdatul Wajud or Wahdatul Shuhud, one book, small book. Uh, uh, he accepted both the views of Ibn al-Arabi, that these are only difference in words, and Mujaddid al-Fasani. They are only in words, the differences are in words, not in reality. Both intention are the same. So his philosophy, I personally have a great regard for his philosophy. I think Ibn al-Arabi's philosophy represent the Islamic worldview. Islamic philosophy of the world is truly, but it is to be understood properly. That is the thing. And today, in today's context, the thing is that we are so worldly, and we are, what can we say, running after this world. And in many countries, in our countries, morally high, but in our countries, in many countries, we are morally degraded. We are destroying the moral structure of the nation. Our politics is uh, what can be said, with impurities, immoral practices are there, lyings are there. So we must read Ibn Arabi, the relevance of Ibn Arabi, the teaching of the Sufis. They didn't run after the world. Their teaching is the purification of soul. Human soul must be purified, because human beings are the vicegerent of God on earth. So they must maintain the dignity, the status of his or her dignity. So you are the vicegerent of God on earth. So we must maintain that dignity. We must be honest. We must be truthful. We must be moral. We must be humanistic. We must be considerate. We must love all the creatures of God. That should be our spirit, and then the world will turn into from the uh, 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 world of peace. With these few words, I thank you once again. Thank you for giving me chance to say a few words in this August assembly. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you very much, Dr. Kawthar. This is fantastic. You have, I was expecting merely an academic talk by a doctor and a professor, but you gave us a double lecture here. You gave us the heart of Sufism. You brought to us the love of the Prophet to us to experience in the present moment. So that was fantastic. Thank you so much for that. It was experiential as well as intellectual, in other words. That was lovely.
Thank you.
So I'd like to open the floor now to anyone who may like to make a comment, to ask Dr. Kawthar any question, please. I have a question, but I'll leave it for afterwards. So please, if anyone has any questions or comments, please go ahead and either start speaking. If I see you all speaking at once, I'll pick one of you. So please go ahead if you have any questions.
I have a quick question, if you allow me.
Yes, please. Go ahead, Noor.
So many thanks, Dr. Shah Kawthar. I even didn't know you are a Bangladeshi, such a great Sufi. I was looking through Dr. Shamsher Ali to go to philosophy department to request a PhD program on Ibn Arabi, because I submitted a concept project to go to your university. So I was waiting for the guidance from Dr. Shamsher Ali. Anyway, the question I have is, your presentation was so beautiful. Because prophetic love is the precondition of course, everything. "Qul in kuntum tuhibbuna Allah fattabi'uni." So if you love Allah, you have to follow me, and you have to love initiated through Allah, Prophet. So that's excellent, and you showed how Prophet is spiritually guiding. Even now today, with all these examples, no one presented me in that form, though we read it in various books. The question I have is about the word you have used, uniqueness. Is that what Arabic fardiya? Fardiya?
Yes,
Oh,
we
that's
can use
good
it.
then, because in the Mafatih al-Fusus al-Hikam, this
Yes.
kitab written by um, Miftahi, Abdul Baqi Miftahi,
Yes.
here he wrote, and there was a lecture in our Bangladesh Ibn Arabi Society last month about the hikmat. So there is a 28 degree of existence Ibn Arabi wrote, and then 28 letters of Arabic letters, and he listed this 28 hikmah in the Fusus al-Hikam, and he put this hikmatul ilahiyah on Adam alayhi salam, and hikmatul fardaniya, we translated it singularity. So
Singular.
that is the Prophet Muhammad. So and then hikmatul imamiya, Prophet Harun, hikmatul ihsaniya, Luqman, Prophet Luqman, hikmatul ujudiya to Dawud alayhi salam. So this word you have used, that is the one, right? The one we translated singularity. Yeah.
Singularity is, yes, it is near to singularity. So, yeah,
Okay.
uniqueness is a special thing. We That is also one of the connotation, you can say this way. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We are
That's
well
good. I think
read.
Mark, if you want
You're
to,
studying very seriously Ibn Arabi. Very interesting. Yes.
thank you.
Mr. Mark
Hello,
Temple.
Dr. Shah.
Yes,
Thank you so
Mark.
much for your talk.
You're from
I'm from Melbourne, Australia. Yes.
Melbourne. Oh, I see.
Yes.
Well,
And I'm a friend of Frank's and Noor's.
Frank. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so
What I
much.
would like to ask you, Dr. Shah, is you talked about ilham and mubashir. You said Ibn Arabi, it was mubashira. So what is the difference? Is there a kind of difference in flavor between ilham,
These are
mubashira?
these are actually family words. Actually, indication is same. We can use certain time. These are not very. I don't think these are very much difference on this thing. Actually, the words, many words. Ilham, kashf. We use the word kashf. Kashf means opening the heart. All these belong to same actually. Refer same thing. This
So
is
the
the
best thing is to
is
understand it as opening and never mind
opening.
all the
Yes,
different.
human heart is like a mirror. Al
Uh-huh.
Ghazali in his book has written this thing that human heart is like a mirror, but it is blocked. It is covered by curtain, certain veil, because we are in this world. When this veil is open, then from the unseen world, things will be reflected in your heart. That is caste, or that is these are the things. So actually,
Thank you. Thank you very
welcome,
much.
welcome, Mr.
Thank you, Dr. Kawthar.
Temple. Very happy to see you people.
Thank
Very
you,
nice
Doctor.
to hear
Thank you.
what you have to say.
Anyone else? I noticed Murshida, maybe you unmuted yourself before and you're muted again. Do you have a comment or a question?
Murshida is my colleague and student, junior colleague and my
Ah,
student from the
beautiful.
University of Dhaka.
Ah,
And another
beautiful.
Taposhi Rabia, she's also a lecturer. She's also my student working here. They have joined. And many others, Ziaul Hassan from Netherlands, he has joined. Shahidul, Saiful, many others have joined this program.
Ah, beautiful. You're all welcome. Thank you.
Yes.
Anyone else have any questions or comments they like to say to Dr. Kawthar, please? I have one, Doctor. In the beginning, you mentioned about the dreams and how the Prophet appears in the dreams of those who, I guess, it implied who love him and who are obedient to God and who are sincere in their love. I just wondered, for those people who do not have these dreams, is there something you can tell them that you know that maybe they can do to encourage the possibility of those dreams coming? Because we can't directly force ourselves to dream, because this is more like a grace.
Yes, it is this is taught by not by the scholar but the spiritual guides actually. So I am holding this chair, the humble chair. I am not at all fit for this actually, because I am not. I am as a student of philosophy or as a student of Sufism, I study. Spiritual advancement is something else that is not possible to study and other things. This is something you have to attach with a spiritual guide, guru, sheikh, murshid.
Yes.
The,
Yes.
as the Shamsud Tabriz, I think that there we are needing of a Shamsud Tabriz to make Maulana Rumi. For making Rumi, Shamsud Tabriz is the person. To make Moinuddin Chishti, Khaza Usman Haruni is the person. To make Lalan in our country, Lalan Shah, the famous mystic of this Bangladesh, Lalan Shah. For him, Shiraz Shah is there. So these are the things. So this is require guidance, attachment with a spiritual guide, and definitely submission and recitation of Darud in a prescribed way. These are the ways. Then you may be blessed, because necessity is the inner attachment. You feel the urge of seeing him. You must have that urge, earnestness, or dedication to see him. When you then you will get see your beloved. You will have to love, then beloved will come be nakab. Without nakab, without veil, the beloved will appear after seeing your earnestness. That is the thing humbly that I can say. I can submit.
That is beautiful. Thank you, Doctor. Yeah, thank you. Okay, anyone else like to make a comment or have any questions before we conclude?
So, we,
So yes, maybe we will come to the end now. Thank you very,
Yeah,
very much.
if you are ending,
Sorry.
I just wanted to give an
Yes.
announcement.
Yes, please.
There's the Bangladesh Ibn Arabi Society next 26th of July, in the fourth Friday. There is a lecture by a Bangladeshi Sufi. He is a Chishtiya Sufi practitioner as well. His name is Gobi Musa Al Hafiz. So he will be talking on divine love in Bengali.
oh,
Divine love, the ishq ilahi or hubbul ilahiya, from the point of view of Ibn Arabi.
please
So
give,
the
give
lecture
me
will
the
be,
link.
yeah, I'll
Give me
send you
the
the
link.
link. Yeah. So just an announcement, if anyone is interested, you can join, but the lecture will be in Bengali. But of course, you can open the subtitle to see, 50% translation in English. Yeah, this Zoom has that capacity. But of course, Mark tried it. It didn't give him that much, but he understood it. My lecture when I was giving it. Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
very
with
good.
that note, I think, yeah, many thanks everyone for joining this beautiful presentation, and I really appreciate and grateful to know Dr. Shah Kawthar. I definitely will be in touch with you.
Yes, definitely. Most welcome.
Yes,
Everyone welcome. Please visit our country, Bangladesh. Dr. Frank, Dr. Mark Temple, and Nur Alam Saab, and others. All of you are invited to visit Bangladesh. And my
Thank you.
department, I'll be in the chair. We'll be
Thank
very
you.
happy to
Thank you
welcome you.
very, very much. We also look forward to having you back in Melbourne again. You said you've been to Melbourne before, so come again, and this time we look after you as well.
I didn't go Melbourne actually,
To
Brisbane and
Sydney.
Sydney.
Okay, yeah, okay.
yeah, we will
Well,
welcome you to Melbourne.
I'm visiting Sydney at the moment, so if you want to come to Sydney,
Oh,
I will come and meet you in Sydney.
in some occasion we can go actually if some seminar or symposium is there,
Yes, yes.
then we can have a chance to
Yeah.
visit.
Fantastic. Thank you so very much.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for all this. Thank you so much.